because I have a few buddies that compete very heavily with 2011s. A couple of them run Infinities, and I gotta say, this is just an incredible bargain for the quality of pistol you're receiving. Hey everyone, I'm Brett, and welcome to Nightwood Guns. Really excited for today's video. So, as my subscribers know, I'm currently working on a full review and evaluation of the Spore 283 carry in 357 Magnum. This wheel gun is completely forged and precisely engineered in Germany. Well, before they sent me that revolver, they saw that I was a connoisseur of nice high-end 2011s and double-stack 1911s, and they asked me if I would like to check out the STP LISA. So today's video on the STP is going to be less of a review and more of an overview and showcase of the STP LISA because one, it's a really cool gun, and two, there are just not many videos of this on YouTube. And I've enjoyed my time with this pistol so much, I want to make sure people in the US don't completely sleep on it. Now, if you're one of my subscribers, you will know that I don't typically look at dedicated competition pistols, but just know that STP is coming out with their new SWAT pistol that is more in our wheelhouse of concealed carry and tactical use. And I have to say, LISA here definitely has me excited to try out more STP pistols. Now, before we hop into the features, I want to focus on what sets this apart from other competitors in this category and what makes it special and why it would be worth the hassle picking one of these up. So right off the bat, we have no MIM parts. Everything is forged or milled on this pistol, and you can tell it is heavy and it is quality.
Are they heavy?
Yeah.
Then they're expensive. Put them back.
Next up, they did not skimp on the finish. We got a DLC finish on the slide, and they even gave it a nice high polish on the flats. We also have strategic and aesthetically pleasing lightning cuts along the top of the slide. So I mentioned that everything is forged and milled in-house in Germany. That goes for everything on the gun with the exception of the adjustable sights and the Checkmate 2011 magazine. Other than those two things, everything is designed, engineered, and created in-house. And that is the perfect segue into talking about fit and finish, because you guys know I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to the fit and finish of 1911s and 2011s. I give T-Sauce a lot of crap. But STP is fitting this gun together as tightly as humanly possible while maintaining 100% reliability. The slide to frame fit on this has maybe 1% of wiggle to it, and this is a T&E gun that has seen God knows how many rounds. Also talking about fit, something I check for usually on 1911s and 2011 style pistols is how soon the grip safety activates. That usually tells you how well it's tuned. So on the Staccato XC, Staccato's flagship model, it activates at about 25%, maybe 30% of the way in. My Bull Armory is currently loaded and I am carrying it, otherwise I would show you how much better that is than the Staccato. But this beats everything. This activates at less than 1%. It is instant activation. It's insane. And then you can see it pop back out. Like pretty much no movement. And beyond that, we have the trigger. Now, the trigger on my Staccato XC breaks right at 2.5 pounds. This one's got to be right around 2 pounds because it's even lighter than that. So we got a little bit of take up there, hit the wall, push through the wall, almost no travel. Then let's get to the reset and instant reset. Now, granted, all 1911 style pistols are going to be excellent. This one takes it to as high of a level as humanly possible while maintaining reliability. And speaking of reliability, I took this T&E gun that has a lot of rounds through it out of the box. It was dirty, it was dry, I never cleaned it or oiled it, and it ran 100%. I brought oil with me to the range because I was expecting to need it, but I didn't. The thing just ran. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That's one of the best ways you can support me. The more subscribers I have, the bigger and better things I can do. The reason I got this opportunity is because so many of you have subscribed, so I really appreciate the support. Also, a big thank you to my patrons for helping keep the lights on here at Nightwood Guns. If you'd like to find me on Patreon, the links in the description below are the place to be. You can also find my books for sale on Amazon. They are really fun reads, everybody loves them. Unless you don't like gun action, violence, great characters, or interesting stories, then they're not for you. So now let's dig more into the features of the pistol. So we have, of course, a skeletonized and lightened hammer. We've got the fat thumb safety over here, which, by the way, the thumb safeties also fit incredibly well. It doesn't have any play to it. It's very positive on and off without needing too much resistance. And of course, I mentioned the stylish and effective lightning cuts, but the slide serrations on the front here are perfect. First of all, they are absolutely flawlessly machined. It's one of those things where you look at that, it almost seems like a piece of art. But on top of that, they are fine and grippy without tearing up your fingers or your hands. Really appreciate that. And on the back here, these lightning cuts kind of act as the rear serrations as well. As mentioned earlier, we have adjustable sights on there, so you can zero this thing to whatever your competition ammo is. The LISA in particular has a 5-inch bull barrel. I mean, they have a bunch of different models. You can really go down a rabbit hole of looking at all of the cool offerings that STP has. We have a full-length guide rod and a full-length dust cover that is nice and heavy. This gun is perfectly balanced. And of course, that's one of the reasons it shoots so incredibly well. They have this thing sprung perfectly and balanced perfectly to keep you on target during rapid fire. It's just a very predictable recoil impulse, so you know exactly how the gun is going to act. I believe the grip module is aluminum. Either way, it feels amazing in hand. Their little honeycomb texture here is very positive, locks your hand into place, and it does that without even cutting it up. Usually the first thing that people mention when I hand them the pistol is how much they love this honeycomb texture. The funnel, or the mag well, is also very efficient. I mean, it's not crazy. I think they wanted to make sure it didn't get to be too big, but it definitely gets the job done. It's well thought out. The number one thing that I appreciated is obviously a lot of these 2011 manufacturers are doing an undercut and smoothing out where your middle finger knuckle goes, assuming you shoot with all of your fingers, you're not missing any. But they did an above and beyond job on this one. It is very smooth, very flat. You could shoot this thing every single day of the week, thousands of rounds, and never get the infamous, shooting knuckle or Glock knuckle on your middle finger. They also rounded off everything on the trigger guard, all the sharp edges, honestly all around the gun, because they know you're going to be using this for competition. You're going to be putting your hands on this over and over and over and over again. And when you have a pistol that has hard edges, it can start to bang up your hands. People in the YouTube comment section can say all day how they shoot, hundreds of thousands of rounds a year, but if your hands don't look kind of beat up like mine do, you're not shooting that much. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, the world ain't what it seems, is it, Gunny?
So since I'm usually shooting a lot of, more duty or concealed carry, self-defense, tactical pistols that aren't as well refined as this was a welcome change. Actually shooting a really well-rounded and comfortable gun for once. But I really cannot stress enough how great the fit and finish is on this. You even look at how the grip module is mounted to the frame. It's just absolutely seamless. I think a layperson would look at this and not even realize, this was a grip module, that there are two pieces here. It just looks like one complete frame, and that's hugely impressive. Even down here in the grip safety, these corners can get to be a little sharp, even on something like a staccato, but they've rounded all of this off, so you can have really long shooting days, shooting weeks, and never worry about the web of your hand getting torn up by any sharp edges where the grip safety meets the frame. This is one of the nicest pistols I've ever had the pleasure of running. The only negative that I had, I really had to look this thing over and look for a negative. Of course, for my purposes, I'm looking at a lack of an optic cut. But this is, of course, made for specific disciplines of competition where you're not going to be running an optic. So I'm definitely not going to count that as a negative or a con in any way, shape, or form. But the only negative that I could really find with this thing, and I tried really hard. I'm a critic, and I just love criticizing things so that companies can improve and deliver better products, is the back of the thumb safety here, right there on that corner, can be a little sharp. And, it's not even sharp compared to other pistols, it's just sharp compared to this pistol. They took a lot of care to round everything off, except for the little corners here. I'd like to see those dehorned a little bit, kind of like the rest of the gun, melted down, but that's getting really nitpicky. But for its intended purpose of competition, this pistol gets a perfect 10 out of 10 from me. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So who is this pistol for? Well, first of all, this pistol is gonna run you about 4,400 US clams. And I know some people are like, well, I'm out. But I'm telling you, the only pistol I've really, put a significant amount of rounds through that is even close to this is an infinity pistol. And if you know how much infinities cost, and I'm saying that the fit and finish of this is nearly as good, you will know how incredible of a deal that is. Other than typical parts that will probably end up going down on 2011s anyways, the frame and the slide, everything that's important to this pistol is built to last lifetimes of heavy use. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you found this video because you were interested in getting an STP, definitely get one. You cannot go wrong. After running the STP LISA, if I was going to start running a 2011 in competition and wanted to compete at a high level, I would definitely just pick whatever STP best aligned with whatever discipline I was shooting. Because I have a few buddies that compete very heavily with 2011s. A couple of them run infinities, and I gotta say, this is just an incredible bargain for the quality of pistol you're receiving. And if you're someone who's just looking for a high-end, incredibly well-fit double-stack 1911 pistol, and they even make single-stack 1911s, and you really appreciate high-end precision engineering and manufacturing, then this is going to be an incredible piece to add to your collection. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video on the STP LISA. Definitely look forward to the Spore 283 carry in-depth review. Really excited to share my thoughts on this. I even got a 9mm cylinder for it, so I got to run it pretty hard. But it was so great seeing you guys again, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm Brett, and this was Nightwood Guns. Nightwood out.